Minneapolis has become the epicenter of mounting national turmoil as protests escalate following the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, by federal immigration agents in the city's Operation Metro Surge Enforcement Operation. The incident, the second in recent weeks involving federal immigration officers killing a U.S. citizen, has inflamed tensions between local authorities, community members, and the federal government, prompting protests, legal battles, and political upheaval that reached a fever pitch on January 27, 2026. On January 24, 2026, Preddy was shot and killed by U.S. Border Patrol agents, part of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and operating alongside Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, agents, during one of the most significant federal immigration enforcement operations in years. According to multiple reports, video footage from the scene showed Preddy holding only a cell phone and attempting to support people near the action when he was tackled by federal agents and shot multiple times. Though he had a legal concealed carry permit, there was no evidence he brandished a weapon when the shots were fired. Preddy was at least the second U.S. citizen killed in Minneapolis this month in similar circumstances. Earlier on January 7th, Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old Minneapolis resident, was fatally shot by an IC agent during a separate confrontation. The deaths have triggered widespread protests in Minneapolis, with thousands marching despite frigid winter temperatures to demand federal immigration agents be withdrawn from the city and held accountable. Demonstrations have included rallying chants, clashes with law enforcement, and calls for systemic change, not only locally but across the United States, with solidarity marches reported in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Protesters have decried federal tactics as excessive and militarized, and many have called for IC to leave Minnesota entirely. Some local labor unions even supported measures to withhold federal funding to the Department of Homeland Security in response to the deaths. The crisis has rapidly become a significant political flashpoint. Minnesota political leaders, including Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, have sharply criticized federal operations, calling for investigations and scaling back the federal enforcement presence. Amid mounting pressure, President Donald Trump has sought to adjust his administration's approach. In meetings with state and local officials, he put Tom Homan, his designated border czar, in charge of the Minneapolis operation, signaling a potential shift toward less aggressive enforcement tactics and improved cooperation with local authorities. Some federal agents, including Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, have been removed from the city amid backlash. Trump has also publicly affirmed he is reviewing everything regarding the enforcement actions that led to Preddy's death and defended a peaceful dialogue with Minnesota officials. The controversy is not limited to Minneapolis. Republican lawmakers, typically supportive of robust immigration enforcement, have called for independent investigations and greater transparency, signaling dissent within Trump's own party. Meanwhile, some Democrats have pushed impeachment proceedings against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, accusing her of mishandling federal enforcement and mischaracterizing fatal encounters. Internationally, the Minneapolis violence has drawn attention and criticism, while domestic civil liberties advocates raise alarms over accountability and use of force policies. Polling shows growing support across the U.S. for abolishing IC, including notable increases among traditionally conservative voters, a striking political shift driven by the fallout from the Minneapolis incidents. On the legal front, federal judges and prosecutors are scrutinizing evidence collection and compliance with court orders related to detainee rights and bonds, amid accusations of federal obstruction. The city's investigation into Preddy's death continues as community pressure mounts for answers and justice. As protests persist and political discord deepens, Minneapolis remains in the national spotlight, a symbol of the broader debate over immigration enforcement, federal authority, civil rights, and public safety in modern America.